Welcome back to Bombastic Nation and Ting and Ting and Ting. I'm Mr. Giant and I'm back with some more vibes for all. Yeah, yes, I. And this one is not so much historical, I guess, in a sense, if you want to look at decor or something like that. I don't know. But this one is called Five Ways British and American Bedrooms Are Very Different. And the reason why this one piqued my interest so much is that coming from the island and coming to America, I noticed the subtle differences and thing, and it's the general differences as far as like back home we say drawing room, up here they say living room, and I guess back home now they saying living room too. But when I was growing up, we were saying drawing room, and you know there are certain things you like vase and vase and tomato, just general things like that that I noticed. I never really noticed the bedroom type of differences because by the time when I came here, I went to a dorm, so it was a good while before I got into a bedroom, so I didn't pay much attention to the differences. There was a bed, that's all I know. But apparently, there's specific differences, and we gonna go check out the differences and stuff here. You understand what I'm saying? See what the vibe is and see if I see anything in retrospect that are different from our bedrooms to their bedrooms. Let's YouTube and simmer.
One of the most common bedroom differences I get asked about is why do Americans sleep with that extra sheet between the quilt and you? Hello, I'm Lawrence and I'm on a quest to uncover all of the memos that Britain and America lost in the pond, and one of those memos pertains to bedrooms. In Britain and throughout the world, people need a designated room where they can go to sleep and do other stuff, like reading, for example. But depending on the country that you're in, the bedroom, a word supposedly coined by Shakespeare, might take a different form. And as somebody who has lived extensively in both Britain and America, this is most certainly true of those two countries. And so without further ado, here are 5 ways that British and American bedrooms are very different. Before we even get to the main centerpiece of the bedroom, which is the bed, there is one major thing that American bedrooms have that most British bedrooms do not, and it's something contained not within the 4 walls of the bedroom, but within the wall. I'm talking about built-in closets. Now, this is my walk-in closet. I say mine, I mean it is shared with my wife, of course. I say shared, I mean it's mostly hers. So you might be thinking, well, Lawrence, where do British people hang their clothes? And the answer is simple: in a wardrobe that admittedly takes up more space.
Oh,
unless it needs
okay. Okay, that's one difference. We had a wardrobe. It was in the corner of the bedroom. I never really thought about that. We didn't have built-in closets. They probably do now. I'm gonna have to ask my brother if he's got a built-in closet or a wardrobe. We always had a wardrobe in the corner of the room, big varnished, mahogany, it had to be fancy and thing, My mom always had the fancy ones, and you open it and you put your clothes in there. Oh wow, I didn't really think about that. I kind of like the wardrobe better, even though it takes up a lot of room. After all these years, man. No, granted, I knew we didn't have built-in closets, but for some reason, I totally forgot about the wardrobe. Wow. Okay, let's keep going. Let's keep going here.
But while America may have the advantage in the closet department, Britain is still leading the way on these. Back in the days when I still dressed like a child, you bought me this t-shirt, so you can leave it out. Back in the days when I was still a child, I distinctly remember sleeping alongside a rubber accessory that was filled with hot water. It was a hot water bottle. And it was
We had those too.
I was searching for this video. For anyone not in the know, a hot water bottle is exactly the accessory I just described, and its purpose is to keep you warm while you sleep. It can be a problem if you accidentally burst it, because then you can...
But that's crazy. I thought the hot water bottle was for when you injure yourself and you fill it with hot water and put it on the injury. because I guess I'm from the tropics. We don't need to have hot water bottles to keep us warm. So that's what that is for. I always thought it was for medical reasons. I always thought, you know what I mean? Hey, you twist your ankle. Mom, get me the hot water bottle. Fill it up with hot water, slap it on there and thing. We never used to use ice. I didn't use ice for stuff until I came to America. It was always hot water, hot something. Hot water bottle or something. Okay, so I learned something new today. That was just to keep them warm over there in England. All right.
Parents think you have another problem and you have to go see a doctor. Now, with the advent of electric blankets, hot water bottles have seen a decline in popularity. This is particularly true in the United States, but I have it on good authority that people still occasionally use them in Britain. But part of me believes that most of them just use it to refill their tea without leaving the bed. As always, when it comes to comparing British and American things, inevitably it always comes back to size. And you might not be too surprised to learn that American beds, on the whole, are longer, wider, or sometimes both, than British beds. So let's take a look at how that plays out, or lays out. That's a bed pun. Sorry, let's just take a look.
But I'll be honest with you. It's not just the bed. Up here, everybody wants the bigger thing, the bigger car, the bigger plate of food, the bigger everything, the bigger motorbike. Whatever, if it's big, people want it here. You know what I mean? And that's from my observation. So it's not just they want the big bed or they want the bigger house. They want, the bigger slice of the beach. You know what I mean? They just want things bigger here. But it's funny how this one thing sort of mirrors the whole culture.
So the smallest bed size in the United States is the twin bed. This measures in at roughly 39 by 75 inches. And its nearest equivalent in Britain is a single bed, which is just as long as an American twin, but 4 inches less wide. After that, America has a twin XL, which is coupled with Britain's small double. Try saying that after 4 whiskies. And then America has what is known as the full-size mattress. This is 54 inches by 75. This is almost identical to the double.
None of which I could fit on, by the way.
From here on out, things become like a game of chess, as both countries sort of introduce a royal family of mattress sizes. In the US, some people sleep on the Queen. Not the Queen, that would be breaking news. On a queen-size mattress, which is about 60 inches by 80. This is virtually identical to Britain's king-size mattress, but neither country ousts their bedroom monarchy there. What's better than a queen? A super queen. In the US, this measures in at 66 inches by 80. Funnily enough, the nearest equivalent in Britain is called, can you guess what it's called, can you? It's called a super king, and it's 72 inches by 80. And so Britain wins, except it doesn't, because America also has a king-size bed that measures 76 by 80.
That's what I need right there, the king.
While America's just kept going with the California king at 72 inches by 84, and that's just showing off. So perhaps this additional size is why Americans are more likely to use one of these. However massive the mattress, it's more common in the US than the UK for it to sit on top of what is known as a box spring. And while I definitely couldn't claim to be a bed connoisseur, I hadn't heard of the phrase box spring until I moved to America. And there's a couple of reasons for this. First,
neither did I.
We don't call it that. Apparently, we call it either a sprung bed base or a divan. I've never used those terms either, and that's because this particular contraption...
I've actually heard those terms.
...in Britain. And so what is this contraption? Well, a box spring is a base that sits under your mattress that sort of incorporates a spring system like you might find in your mattress. And the idea is with that additional bounce, I won't keep doing that, the springs in the mattress have a greater shelf life. In Britain, our mattresses tend to sit on harder surfaces, meaning that the springs in your mattress wear down more quickly depending on how much you put them under duress. Mine were mostly fine, but so much for what goes under the mattress. Let's take a look at what goes on top. One of the most common bedroom differences I get asked about is, why do Americans sleep with that extra sheet between the quilt and you? And this is what's known as a top sheet. And while I have read that top sheets have become less popular among younger Americans, they are nonetheless still in wide use. But what purpose do they serve? Well, aside from adding an additional layer of warmth for Americans that don't know the joys of a hot water bottle, the top sheet is often used for hygienic reasons. The theory being that your body, and therefore body odour and sweat and dirt, doesn't come into contact with the comforter/quilt. And I can get behind this idea because it means you can wash the comforter less often. Who needs bulky laundry? Now, because Americans are more likely to use this approach than British people, they're also more likely to not use a duvet cover because what's the point? In Britain, this is largely how we get around the hygiene problem, if indeed we choose to. Now, if Reddit is anything to go by, then this is the source of a heated debate. So let me know in the comments below, top sheet or no top sheet. As for me and my American wife, we compromised on both a top sheet and a quilt cover for some reason. That's it for this episode. Let me know in the comments below how you keep your bedroom. Just keep it general. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel so that my videos don't get lost in the pond. A big shout out to all of my patrons who make these videos possible.
Man, I enjoyed this one, you know what I mean? Made me think of that wardrobe. Wow. Good old days. I've seen wardrobes in some houses here, but you know, it's like the older houses and stuff like that. But in the newer houses, there ain't no wardrobes. They all have walk-in closets. I guess I prefer the wardrobe because, you know, it's there and I open it and it's there. Because the walk-in closets, unless you're filthy rich, it ain't freaking big enough for no 7-foot tall dude. I could tell you that right now. I have a small walk-in closet in my bedroom there, and shoot, man, that tiny thing, you know what I mean? But anyway, man, thank you all for watching this with me. Link in the description. Go check out this man's channel and subscribe to it if possible, so you could check him out. You know, he's got some funny stuff. You know, to me it's funny, but you know, still informative. Go check him out. You know what I mean? You all take care of each other. All right. Cool runnings.